sanctuary where you can be yourself and chillax, take a breather, relax, and really feel the cozy vibe within this corner of the universe so you can receive the messages that is coming through from the divine. And earlier today, because I was celebrating my celebration day, congrats to any Pisceans out there. Celebrations to you. I'm giving you your flowers. Message today to you that we are being received and being gifted flowers in our moment in our life, because we have done so much work. Literally, the collective of the Pisceans, we have done so much work for the collective overall, and also for your life as well. We are in different stages, right? Because not all of us are the same. But yeah, we have done so much work, and I'm here to give you your flowers. And yeah, you have every right to feel like, you have every right to feel how you want to feel. You have every right to rest. You have every right to be who you need to be. You have every right to speak your mind. You have every right to command your life. You have every right to celebrate. You have every right to do anything that you want to do in your life. No one has no say. No one cannot take anything from you. No one can really try to fuck up your life, because if the divine is standing by your side, who is really fucking with you? No one. And so I'm here to state that there are new rules in the spiritual realms. There's new rules coming from the higher realms, and I'm here to declare these rules that has been stated to me. The ones, the karmics that has been doing so much disgraceful work, that has been in opposition with the darkness. There are new rules and regulations that everyone has to obey. That everyone and that's just confirmation. There are new rules that souls have to obey, and this is coming from the divine source itself. The ancestors are speaking on the behalf, on the preserving of the bloodlines. They have decided that the ones that have been in disgraceful mode, in opposition with the darkness, they will not have no protection. Disowned. Again, they're being disowned by their own family line. They won't have any family line to turn back to at all. They're being disowned at every given moment that is taking place. Like I stated, for once, it has been a warning that the divine has been speaking for the light workers to declare these messages for the collective to really stand firm on prioritizing their life. But like I said, the ancestors is preserving the family line, and they do not want to they don't want to be attached to that disgrace. They're disowning them for the ones that are really in operation with the darkness. Like I said, this is the change. These are the change of the rules being these are the chains coming from the higher realms completely. They don't want to be attached from it. We have been speaking of the rules and regulations of the old paradigm when it comes to the spiritual world. If we are going through a new world order, right, in this giving earthly plane of existence, that means there are new rules and regulations to the spiritual realms. Existence that are plain cannot change if it's coming, if the source itself is not declaring new rules and regulations, then a order will not be solidified as a new world order in this existing plane. You see, it has to change in the higher realms, and then it has to be declared in this given existence. And yeah, that is the new rule, is that the ancestors are not going to be attached to blood on their hands. They don't want any parts of it. They don't want to be cursed because one family member within their bloodline, one family member within their bloodline was doing some disgraceful work. They don't want to be attached to that. You see that? They don't want to be attached to that dirty hand. You see that? They don't want to be attached to that. They don't want to be cursed by it. You see that? So now they have to really disown you. They have to disown them from the family tree. See that? And when you are disowned by the family tree, by your own bloodline, you internally doomed your soul and also the family that was birthed with them as well. It could be their mother, it could be their sister, their brother. You feel me? Those family members. But the branches of the whole entire bloodline ain't gonna be attached to that. You see that? Because the ancestors already has been talking. They already been talking, and they said no. Bitch, we're not going to be attached to that. Bitch, I'm gonna disown you. That's what they said. And that's the new rule now. That's the new rule. Bitch, if you are falling into that darkness and that operation, bitch, if your ancestors unite together, right? Unite together and they speak upon your behalf, right? And the votes are said, bitch, and And you're overruled by every ancestor that agreed to disown you, bitch. Right? That agreed to disown you, bitch, from your own bloodline. Then you're overruled by many. You see that? You're overruled by many. Right? And when you're really disowned from your family line, there's no protection there. There's nothing. Those same entities and beings that are attached to them, they're really going to be really knowing them for real, because that's the only life that they're going to be living. That's the only life that they're going to be knowing, is that gutter for real, that trench for real. Because once you are disowned by your family tree, there's no way going back. You're stripped away from the family tree, bitch. You're stripped away from your ancestral line, bitch. There's no way coming back when you are disowned. That's the ultimate price. That's the ultimate price, my day. Because they're not going to be able to reincarnate. They're going to be held accountable for their actions. They're not going to be able to reincarnate those entities and beings that they were attached to. They're going to be linked and bound to them. They're not going to be reincarnating for quite some time until they're deemed worthy. Like I said, they're going to be replaced by their own family because they're being disowned. And when you are being disowned by your own ancestral line, there's no connection. You won't feel the divine presence nowhere. Bitch, you doomed your soul for an eternity of that darkness. You hear that? You heard that? You doomed your whole entire eternal life. Because like I said, we are not only living in this plane of existence, we're really living in different moments of different creations of life. We're not really only living here because, like I said, when we close our eyes, we enter a different realm. We enter a different realm, and that's considered dreaming, like they state in this giving life, but that's actually entering a different realm of existence. World order is really being issued out from the higher realms and being declared and rooted in this existent plane, but is really coming from source itself. And so this is a rule that is being changed. A lot of people in the community of life is stating like, oh, if someone within the bloodline is doing some disgraceful work like sacrificing or rituals or doing anything, like their whole entire family is gonna go down by it. No, it's changing. Literally, the ancestors have a say now, and they really don't want to go down with any disgrace because they're trying to preserve the lines. At this very moment, the ancestors are trying to preserve the lines, and they don't want nothing to be attached to those preserved lines. Produced in that creation of life, they don't want dirty blood to be placed in their family tree. And so this is what I have gotten, because I was literally taking a shower and I got this message, and I was like, yeah, I have to say it. But yeah, you know, some people are going to be disowned, and it sucks to be them, right? It really sucks, because it's like they had warnings after warnings, chances after chances to do right, right? To do right. Not only for their life, not only for their family, not only for their immediate family, right? But also throughout their connection to that ancestral line, right? Because we are all connected to all forms of ancestral lines. But like I said, they did not care for it. So now that I'm declaring this message, ones don't be talking all that mess like you can now, because the mess already has been done. Bitch, don't talk about, oh, save me, because you're being disowned. Ain't nobody gonna save you now, because your ancestors were really giving you warnings after warnings for me to say. For me to say. Right? That were generous to relate a message to the ones. Right? So the ones better not be like, oh, save me. Bitch, they're not hearing you, because you're being disowned. You place too much price. The price is too high for your motherfucking ancestral line, bitch. You have been overruled. Your family members have been overruled, bitch. And bitch, you don't got no say. No say. They have no say. The ancestor has every right to speak what they have to speak. And if they don't want to be attached to that, they don't have to, you see? They don't have to. When they don't have any ties to that, bitch, they don't have to. They're saying that they're not sacrificing what they have done, right? Because this immediate family that has been in their family, right, tree, decided to go against a real chosen one. Right? And there really are people, right, believing so dearly that it's not real. It is real, because I'm here to declare this message for once. And it's going to be so real. It's going to be so real when their soul is being called to transition. And then after that, there's no welcome home. You see that? When you do a good deed and serve life to this existence of this plane, you get a welcome home. You have a home when you go back to. You see? You have a home when you go back to. And so when you really are being disowned, right? And this is in this existence of life, and when you transition, you see that? There's no home to go back to. There's nothing. Bitch, there's no celebration. There's no welcome home. Bitch, you really don't have a home when you transition out of here. And so, like I said, ones are really going to be lost for real, because they're going to be disowned and stripped away from their ancestral line. Because, like I said, they have been overruled by the ancestors that don't want to take any attachments to that opposition of that darkness. Bitch, they don't want to place their life there. They don't want to serve the consequences because they have done that disgraceful work. They don't want to go down because one family, right? Because one family decided to do some shit that were warned not to do. See that? And so they don't want to go down for that one family when there's millions upon millions of families that are really connected to that one source of that family line. You see that? There's too many lives there. You see that? There's too many lives there. And bitch, they don't want to be attached to that disgrace. Bitch, they already held this meeting. And you have been overruled, bitch. Yeah. That's what I'm getting in this message. In which ones did not want to see the truth, right? They didn't want to see the truth, right? They thought it was so funny, fun and games. And then when I speak this truth, no, this is not fun and games. See that? It's not fun and games anymore. I got a smile on my face because these ancestors are having my motherfucking back. See that? The ancestors are having your back, right? And they having my back. You see that? Even if it's their family, right? They're still having my back because they see how real I am. You see that? These bitches, right? They're not real. Even their family is seeing how they're not real.